opened the rift to another world.
I did it. I pressed the button. I let the genie out of the bottle.
What's next?
From season 1 to season 2, does anything behind the scenes change in terms of like how you approach production?
Well, one of the things that we really wanted to do is we feel like part of the recipe of our show is we're a globe-trotting adventure. And we had shot season 1 in Vancouver and in Hawaii and in Tokyo. And we felt like it would be really exciting to approach a different part of the world. And so we set up camp in the Gold Coast of Australia and also shot in Thailand and Tokyo. Because again, we wanted the feel to be part of the recipe of our show is, we're that globe-trotting adventure. And where else are we going to be? And we're going to continue that conversation if we have the good luck of doing a season 3.
What really goes into like choosing these locations when you have to factor in, these smaller intimate moments, but also you have to take into account that at any point, Godzilla could show up and you needed that sense of scale.
Yeah, and I think that's right. We're always balancing, and we think one of the things we're always trying to do is have those really genuine, intimate character moments, and then also have those colossal moments of spectacle and monster. And trying to find locations that service the latter, where it really feels like we always laugh with our block directors as they come in when they're trying to really wrestle with how big are these monsters? Is it this? Is this the eye line? Is this the eye line? And they're so much bigger than you would imagine. And so trying to find the right habitat for them is always part of the fun. And location scouting is always really exciting with that in mind. And then also wanting to have those moments where you can really have these genuine, authentic human interactions that really give you that yin and that yang, and that you get to have both the big spectacle and the very, very intimate, honest character movements.
Are you all right? How do you feel?
About the same as coming back from a 3-day pass in Manila. It's a hell of a lot better than last time.
How difficult is it when you have to balance between, the human characters and the monsters? Because this is obviously a very high budget show, but you don't have, as much as say a film does. So how do you work around balancing that so it works for TV?
Yeah, I think that, when we were tasked with taking this on, I think that we really felt like, let's turn what TV is into our advantage. Let's not try to compete with the incredible spectacle that the features have done so well. And so, since the dawn with Toho to where we are now. We owe those theatrical level experiences with our monsters, but also we have time. That's something that the features don't have. And how do we take advantage of that opportunity? And I think that that's where we really found that having, really looking into why people are the way they are. We get to learn about the birth of Monarch in season 1, and we get to learn about, how it all started, who the people were behind it, and not just from a historical perspective, but like the messy character dynamics, because we're all, people who have flaws and weaknesses, but also really that sort of tactile and curiosity that birthed this whole organization. But then we also get to, have that be contrasted with these big spectacle moments, and letting those big spectacle moments inform character. In season 2, we really talk a lot about how, monsters have always been a metaphor for existential threat, for those things that are out of our control. And as we created a new Titan for season 2, we were really mindful of the story that we were telling, and how does the Titan inform the people, and the people inform the Titan, and really do a 360 on a thematic theme. We're so lucky because everyone's really enthusiastic about what we're doing, and we always really believe in keeping communication flowing. Toho looks at all the scripts that we are working on. Obviously, so do Apple and Legendary, and we're really all marching in the same direction, and really excited about the new opportunity that television allows us to pursue.
This Titan is like a god. And the sea creatures worship it.
Hundreds of thousands are in the path of this monster.
I'm curious, for Titan X in particular, is there anything that the production staff is looking for in terms of inspiration for Titan X?
Yeah, we always have fun at the beginning of every season where we start to look at real world creatures to inspire the creatures that we're creating. And here with, that we were creating a hero titan, these early meetings are so funny, sort of seeing all of us get very squeamish as you look at things. You're like, wait, that actually exists? What? You're sort of looking through your fingers and then starting to piece it together because it's so important to us to have it feel real. And like, how do these things move and what are its needs? And it needs to be in water, it needs to be on land. And what does that look like? And what does that feel like? And what does the skin look like? And, and all of that stuff is really fun of creating that creature design, but also wanting it to fit into the canon of what Toho so beautifully established and what Legendary has continued to impress on audiences. And so it all feels of a piece.
What the hell was that?
Look.
It's turning. Hey, team.
When I spoke with Mari, she talked a lot about the challenges in balancing the two different timelines from an actor's perspective. I'm curious what that's like from a production perspective.
It is, for us, one of the things that we do is we do tandem days where we're shooting, we shoot in blocks. We'll shoot 2 episodes at a time with a different director. And when we had 2 different timelines in season 1, where the characters really, for the most part, staying in their own timeline, it was easy to have tandem days where you're shooting the next block while you're shooting the first block. So you're doing, episodes 1 and 2, but you're maybe taking 6 days of episode 3 in the same window as block 1. Harder to do when your characters are in both timelines because you don't have that separate storyline to shoot at the same timeline. You're just trying to condense your schedule. That might be sort of in the weeds, but it is something that becomes more challenging when you have a character that's in both timelines because you don't have a separate storyline to be able to shoot at the same time you're shooting, your other episodes, and that was always the trick of it.
I'm gonna find a way to set things right. I promise.
What do you want people to get from this season when they watch it?
We want them to continue to be surprised. We want people to come to the show. You don't need to have seen even season 1 to enjoy it. You don't need to see any of the films, but hopefully the experience of watching the show, if you haven't seen our previous season or these other movies, that you want to go see it because we want people to be surprised by what the experience is like. We're doing something different here. We're having this, this big globe-trotting adventure. We have these really rich character stories. We have we're having a lot of fun doing what we're doing, but we also have those moments. It's always so rewarding when audience will tell us, I didn't expect to cry in a show about monsters. We really are able to sort of get deep and also be a lot of fun. We're propulsive, we're emotional. And I think that there's we're able to capture a lot of different emotions and different tempos in this and keep it at a high level.
Run!